Welcome back, Zane Mains, to another one of my build videos, and today we'll be going over what I call the Cryo God. Before we get into it though, shout outs to Allegiant Gaming in Houston, Texas. They hooked me up with a sweet capture card that I'll be using for today's recording, so I just wanted to make sure to give them some love before we go any further. The reason we dubbed this build the Cryo God is for two ascertaining points from Zane. One, most of his anointments, or at least his better ones, are based around Sentinel and gaining 100% of his damage as cryo damage. The other one would be because of this, the Old God Shield. Now, if you're not familiar with this shield, what it does is that it comes with a flat 20% elemental damage, and depending on what it rolls, will be the damage that you get the boost. So for instance, this one right here has cryo damage on it. So it will inherently give 20% more cryo damage. Now, with that being covered, let's first take a look at some of the skills. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. The skills don't really differ that much from every other build going on around that's meta for Zane right now. I take the points in adrenaline where most people take brain freeze. With this build, it won't really matter where you're aiming. You won't really need to aim for a crit spot or anything like that, but you can, right? The important things to take from this tree: ready for action and confident competence. And the blue tree, pretty much standardized, the same that you've seen on everybody else, except my class mod will allow me 1 point in violent violence, 1 in playing dirty, and 3 in Donnybrook. Other than that, same standard stuff. The proof is not really here, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually back here in the equipment. So let's go over that real quick. So now that we're back here in our equipment, right, let's go over the things that really make this build. 1, the Cryo God Shield. 2, this Icebreaker Relic. 3, the Seeing Dead class mod. And then 4, and to be fair with you, the least amount of the build are the weapons. The only thing about the weapons that you really need to do are make sure they fit the area in which you're fighting in, and that they are also adorned with the anointment that you see here for all of the weapons that I have, because a lot of your damage is going to be coming from the cryo side and not from the primary side. So starting with our Old God Shield, right? First off, it gives us a flat 20% cryo damage boost. And that's from all of our sources. That's huge because it's the overall theme with Zane. So it's a flat 20%. So if it says 100, it's 120 because of the Old God Shield, right? Not only that, but as you can see from the one that I personally have, it can roll with Recharge Elate, which means it combos with Ready for Action in order to keep a full damage boost from Confident Competence. Then, mine happen to also roll with 10% movement speed. Now that's huge because the actual anointment has a chance to roll with the 15% while Sentinel is active, which means that would be a full 25% to move speed, which combos with Violent Momentum. I mean, just from that one thing alone, that's huge. And then we're getting stuff like damage mitigation against any element, and then the damage from cryo is just a no-brainer right now. The next thing that we have to look at is our Icebreaker Relic. So not only are we freezing everything on the screen without brain freeze, right? We're freezing bosses, we're freezing mobs, we're freezing heavyweights, everything. So immediately after they freeze, they take more damage, which ends up finishing not only them, but carries over due to some of the things in our Guardian rank tree as well. Like, it's just insane, right? I would have rather a victory rush version of this, right? Right now it's just an auto, and it helps with sustain. It helps keeps you alive along with some of your other skills in the blue tree. But that's huge. And the big kicker from this, right, is that it rolled with mag size, making stuff like a redistributor, 73 bullets. 73 bullets in a redistributor. That's crazy. Plus 20 more percent cryo damage. So we're sitting on 40% flat cryo damage along with our anointment. This is, can you see where I'm going with this? Now, if that incendiary damage would have rolled like area of effect or just like a flat movement speed, that would just translate to more damage on top of what we're already looking at. The third most important item that we've already established as well is our Seeing Dead. Now, personally, I would like it if this had 4 in Donnybrook and 1 in Playing Dirty. But the real kicker for this, right, is that we get the 28% flat weapon damage. It's great. It's great, right? But we also get the splash damage, and we get the shotgun damage. Would love for like anything else. Maybe SMG damage instead of shotgun. It depends on your preference. I love mobbing with the redistributor. However, I also carry an insider, and I also have, where you at, baby? Right, Anarchy with the same anointment that I need. So I really like shotguns, but the redistributor and the Cutsman put in so much damage in their respective fields that it's just crazy not to have one for SMG damage as well. Overall, it's a really good class mod. Could be a little bit better, but I work with what I got. The last thing we actually need to go over are our weapons, guys. So the weapons, that's the thing about this build, right? Is the fact that it allows you to use so many different weapons for every individual situation. It really depends on the content that you're grinding or farming, right? My loadout is for me to play through maliwan takedown with ease, right? And with this insider, it it melts, guys, and it's a times 12 with Playing Dirty, get an extra projectile, etc, etc. My Hydrofrost, it's already cold, but then you put the extra cryo damage from the Sentinel Anoint. I mean, as you can see over here, you can flex the Rad Redistributor, a straight up cryo version of the Redistributor. Cutsman, now this Cutsman doesn't have the cryo. I have a 53 but not a 57, but this still gets the job done. But a Kibsworth, this Anarchy, and an Ion Cannon. Some of my stuff is up to date, some of it's not. I'm not having really good luck with RNG right now, but I make do because the build allows me to make do. So no matter what combination of weapons you have, you can make this build work as long as most of your damage dealing weapons have the cryo anointment on it, because you're getting so much damage. It should be like 140%, and I might be off on some minute math with the way that the game interacts with certain guns and certain pellets, but the proof is right there. Also, at the end of the video, of course, there'll be some things showcasing off like a 2-second or an instant top half of Wotan kill. It went so fast that I didn't even know it died. Okay, so tune in for that. Some closing remarks. This build has a lot of room for improvement, and depending on the things that you have in your inventory or are able to trade for, you can make this a lot better than what I'm showcasing it. It's not to say that this is the next meta or anything like that. This is just something to look into, especially when we get ready to go into the new version of Mayhem mode. Versatility and play style. It can do bossing, mobbing, depending on what's available to you. I mean, it's just insane. So, yeah, enjoy the footage, enjoy the gameplay. I'd love some feedback or some improvements if you got them. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace. Okay, I saw what I did.